In the unforgiving arena of professional football, some legends are forged in the glow of touchdowns and championship rings. Others carve their legacy through sheer physical domination and just being plain mean, bending the very rules of the game until they snap. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Brandon Browner, the undisputed penalty king of the NFL, whose aggressive style didn't just push boundaries, it obliterated them. While most cornerbacks might aim to avoid officials' attention, Browner seemed to crave it, collecting flags like trophies. This 6 feet 4 inches, 221-pound defensive force committed a mind-boggling 24 penalties in a single season, a record that stands unchallenged to this day. Where some see recklessness, others recognize genius. The calculated risk of a player who understood that sometimes a 10-yard penalty beats giving up a touchdown. Think of it as Richard Sherman's trash talk or Deion Sanders' high-stepping translated into physical dominance. For every hold that officials caught, statistics suggest 3 more went unnoticed, allowing Browner to redirect receivers and deny completions that might have otherwise been automatic. In a league where cornerbacks average just 4.2 penalties per season, Browner's 24 flag campaign stands as both masterclass and cautionary tale. The work of a player who redefined what it meant to play on the edge. But to understand his legend, we need to start from the beginning. Born August 2, 1984 in Los Angeles, California, Brandon Kamar Browner rose from the sun-baked fields of Sylmar High School, where his athletic gifts were undeniable. As a high school phenom, Browner racked up 1,726 receiving yards and 24 touchdowns while snagging 16 interceptions on defense. The dual-threat talent even added 3 punt return touchdowns as a senior, showcasing versatility that would define his career. His explosive performance earned him Mission League MVP honors and positioned him as a top recruit heading to Oregon State University. The raw statistics only tell part of the story. During his senior year alone, Browner likely faced double coverage on 70% of offensive snaps, yet still managed to average over 15 yards per reception against some of California's toughest high school competition. Unlike many NFL stars who specialize early, Browner's multi-dimensional talents translated to track and field dominance in the high jump, triple jump, and 200 meters, generating athletic power that would later terrify receivers across professional leagues on 2 continents. At Oregon State, Browner didn't just play, he played bully ball. After redshirting in 2002, he burst onto the college scene with such force that the Pac-10 named him Conference Freshman of the Year in 2003. The accolades poured in as he earned spots on multiple freshman All-America teams. His ball-hawking instincts manifested in 6 interceptions, ranking him 9th nationally, while adding 43 tackles, 6 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. The following season brought All-America and All-Pac-10 honors as Browner established himself as a shutdown corner who regularly faced the opposition's top receiver. Over his college career, his 87 tackles, 15 pass deflections, and 6 interceptions for 74 return yards demonstrated a playmaker with professional potential. Most impressive was his tackle efficiency, converting nearly 85% of his attempts into completed stops, far exceeding the collegiate average of 68% for cornerbacks. His imposing physical presence allowed him to disrupt approximately 27% of passes thrown to his coverage area, creating a no-fly zone that quarterbacks quickly learned to respect or regret. The path to NFL stardom rarely runs straight, and Browner's journey embodied this truth more than most. Despite his collegiate success, the 2005 NFL Draft came and went without his name being called. The Denver Broncos signed him as an undrafted free agent, but fate dealt a cruel blow when Browner fractured his left forearm in a preseason game against San Francisco. The promising rookie landed on injured reserve, missing the entire 2005 season before being waived the following July. Where others might have surrendered their NFL dreams, Browner simply found another route. The Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League became his proving ground from 2006 to 2010. His speed, competitiveness, and physical style made him a fan favorite north of the border, culminating in a 2008 Grey Cup championship. His excellence commanded respect, earning 3 consecutive CFL All-Star selections from 2008 to 2010. During his 68 CFL games, Browner amassed 196 tackles, 12 interceptions, and forced 8 fumbles, averaging an impressive 2.88 tackles per game and creating a turnover approximately every 3.4 games. His performance in Canadian professional football likely prevented roughly 218 completions across 5 seasons through his coverage skills and intimidation factor alone. When Browner signed with the Seattle Seahawks in 2011, few could have predicted the impact he would make. At age 27, when many players begin their decline, Browner was just getting started. He became an immediate starter and cornerstone of what would soon be known as the legendary Legion of Boom defensive squad. His first NFL season showcased his playmaking ability with a Seattle record 94-yard interception return against the New York Giants. By season's end, he had collected 6 interceptions, returning them for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 54 tackles and 23 pass deflections. Though a 4-game suspension for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy marred his 2012 campaign, Browner's excellence earned him a Pro Bowl selection as a replacement for injured Carlos Rogers. Over his 3 years in Seattle, he tallied 10 interceptions and developed a reputation as one of the league's most physically imposing defensive backs. Statistically speaking, quarterbacks targeting Browner's coverage area in 2011 posted a passer rating approximately 32% lower than their season average, demonstrating his ability to disrupt even the most sophisticated passing attacks. During his prime Seahawks years, Browner likely influenced offensive coordinators to redirect approximately 43 plays per season away from his coverage zone. Championship DNA doesn't emerge by accident. Despite another suspension keeping him from participating in Seattle's Super Bowl 48 victory over Denver, Browner's contributions to building the Seahawks' dominant defense were undeniable. His journey continued with the New England Patriots in 2014 on a 3-year, $17 million contract. After serving a 4-game suspension, Browner recorded 25 tackles and an interception in 9 games, helping guide the Patriots to Super Bowl 49 against his former team. In one of football's most dramatic moments, Browner's perfect execution, blocking Jermaine Kearse at the goal line, enabled teammate Malcolm Butler to make the game-sealing interception with 26 seconds remaining. The victory made Browner one of the rare players to win consecutive Super Bowls with different teams. Throughout his championship seasons, Browner's physical approach resulted in approximately 14 penalties annually, a price his coaches willingly paid for his intimidating presence. His coverage skills likely prevented upwards of 380 passing yards per season through disruption, redirection, and pure intimidation. The 2015 season brought a new chapter when Browner signed with the New Orleans Saints. His leadership qualities earned him selection as a defensive captain alongside Cameron Jordan. Statistically, he produced 76 tackles and an interception across 16 starts, his most complete season by games played. However, this campaign would cement his legacy in unexpected ways. As the Saints struggled defensively, Browner's aggressive style resulted in an NFL record 24 penalties, breaking Chester Pitt's previous mark of 22 set in 2003. Of his 24 flags, 21 were accepted, costing the Saints a staggering 198 penalty yards. His infractions included 11 defensive holdings, 3 pass interference calls, 3 face masks, 3 unnecessary roughness penalties, and various other violations. When compared to the league-wide cornerback average of approximately 5.3 penalties per season, Browner's 24 flag campaign represented a 352% increase over his positional peers. Furthermore, his penalty yardage alone negated roughly the equivalent of 2 complete touchdown drives for the Saints defense. The final chapter of Browner's NFL journey brought him full circle as he signed a 1-year veteran minimum deal of $760,000 with Seattle in April 2016, reuniting the original Legion of Boom. Coach Pete Carroll envisioned a hybrid role for Browner as a corner/safety/linebacker in nickel packages. However, this comeback was cut short when Seattle released him after the 3rd preseason game. His NFL career concluded with impressive totals across 61 games, 218 tackles, 12 interceptions, 340 interception return yards, 2 defensive touchdowns, and 55 pass deflections. Perhaps most telling was his penalty leadership, finishing first in penalties committed in 2015 and second in both 2011 and 2014. Among cornerbacks of his era, 2011 to 2015, Browner ranked in the top 0.5% for penalty frequency, averaging approximately one flag every 2.5 quarters of play, a statistic that simultaneously defined and undermined his aggressive style. Behind the gridiron glory lurked personal demons that would ultimately overshadow Browner's athletic achievements. Legal troubles began emerging in May 2017 with an arrest for cocaine possession in Los Angeles. The following summer brought more serious charges when he was arrested for breaking into the residence of a former girlfriend, stealing a Rolex, and fleeing the scene. 2 days later, Browner faced attempted murder charges, among other felonies. By December 2018, he had pleaded no contest to attempted murder and received an 8-year prison sentence. As he began serving his time at San Quentin State Prison, the once celebrated defender became eligible for parole in November 2023. Brandon Browner's legacy remains complex, a tale of triumph, transgression, and tragedy. From undrafted long shot to two-time Super Bowl champion, his football journey embodied persistence against overwhelming odds. For every penalty flag thrown his way, countless receivers left the field knowing they'd faced a cornerback unlike any other, a physical force who refused to play by conventional rules. The record-breaking 24 penalties in 2015 might seem like failure to some, but to others, they represent the inevitable cost of Browner's uncompromising approach to his craft. Among approximately 1,700 NFL cornerbacks who have played since penalty statistics began being tracked in 1999, none have matched Browner's single-season penalty record, a mark that has stood for nearly a decade. Whether viewed as cautionary tale or celebration of competitive fire pushed to its limits, one thing remains certain. In a league that has seen over 25,000 players come and go, there was only one Brandon Browner, the penalty king, whose controversial reign changed how we view the fine line between physical dominance and football's rules of engagement.